So I'm Amanda Fludd, therapist, coach, speaker, and founder of the Couch to Business Collective and this dynamic summit, The Audacity to be Booked, Visible, and Paid. And I just want to tell you a little bit about my world. My world sits on the intersection of psychology, purpose, and visibility, and really just helping women turn their skills and stories into something sustainable, strategic, and that just really feels aligned. And where it started was from a place of concern. And I think you'll hear that a lot in the stories during the summit, that where we started was out of a place that we felt sort of pushed to, led to, called to. We just kind of saw the gaps, right? And it was definitely that for me too. I think as I got into my work in private practice, I spent years, even before that, like helping people heal. But I was still also trying to figure out how to fully show up for myself. And I think you'll also hear that too, or at least if you've been in business, you realize that too. It's like, it's this dual process happening of you serving, and in a way it serves you too, right? So for me, as a woman, as a business owner, as a mom, as someone who was called to create more, but wasn't sure how. And in that process, I really found that other women were sort of struggling too, right? And they were struggling to find their path, right? And working with other high achieving women, other therapists, coaches, leaders, women in corporate spaces, I really realized something. It occurred to me that we are really dope. We just tend to second guess ourselves. And it's not that we don't lack skills, but we lack the permission and structure to use them differently. And that's what led me here in creating spaces where we can build ourselves and build out the purpose put on our hearts. And a lot of my development in terms of like, well, how did I move through this space? It really came from leaning into that purpose. I leaned right out of my career into entrepreneurship. I opened up the practice that grew into a whole coaching community, and it's just been an evolution. But it started with taking steps towards what else can I do and how can I do it? And I honestly had no idea, but I took action. And the how came as I took action. The more action I took, the more I realized how much I already had in my toolbox. And that's how I arrived at today's breakout session. Okay. I was really thinking about, well, like, what can I lend to you that would be helpful as a part of this summit? And I found it. Right? So today's breakout session with me is about helping you see that your skills are a gold mine. Sometimes, like, listen, y'all get caught up in the wrong things. Okay. I've been listening to you for a long time. We get caught up in the titles, in our training, or what we're supposed to do, or on unknown outcomes. But we get so lost in that we forget that we are allowed to create from what we already know. Like, girl, like, what are you sitting on? What do you have? That's probably where the magic is. So today, I thought that I would jump into the dope speaker lineup and give you some concrete ways to reconnect with your gold, the ideas, the experiences, and gifts sitting right in front of you. I hope that's okay. Okay. When I think about who's listening, I think like it's like my seasoned women, my women like fully in their careers, fully in our lives. And I think when you're on that path, most of us were trained to use our skills and in like one way. Like we grew up in like the what do you want to be when you're older kind of thing, right? And we lock in, we lock into a job, we lock into a title, a license, but baby, entrepreneurship, whew, that's almost the total opposite because it's like a big old playground of ideas. And what it really feels like is freedom. It's the freedom to take what you know and question, like, what else could this become? And that's really why I love this summit. We don't always get into rooms like this, like spaces that remind us that we are allowed to dream and dream out loud again. And honestly, I could take that so much deeper. I'm trying to like keep my therapist me in the backseat, but I'm gonna let her play for a little bit, all right? Because in thinking about playground and play, what came to mind is that a lot of us probably didn't even get to play. We were so busy being the responsible one, the peacekeepers, the problem solvers, the fixers. Like, shout out to all my eldest daughters out there. If that's you, girl, raise your hand. Let me know. I see you. Right? We were so busy holding responsibility that we learned to manage instead of to play. So, when I talk about your skills being a gold mine, I mean, what if healing and business both start with giving yourself permission to play again? Hmm. And I say healing because we've got to heal some of the burden of responsibility that we've had to carry, because you have to heal that to understand that you don't have to be the one to do everything, or whatever your story is that you've been carrying, that you can let some of that go so you can create space for you. Right. And to grow great businesses or to lean into your goals and move ahead in your career, I think you have to be able to play a little bit. To dream, you have to play. Like back in the day, like when we used to like pick up pots and pretend to be cooks, right? Or the chalkboard and taught like your imaginary class, or sat in the cardboard box and like took flight. To take what you have access to and get a little messy with it and to see what grows from that space. Like we got to go back to that mindset, that way of being, right? So I want you to hold that way of being as I'm talking, because I'm talking to the woman who's like, yeah, girl, like I need to just go jump in a puddle and like let go just a little bit. I'm talking to you. Okay. Hold that person, that version of you. So let's kind of break this down a little bit and get an example going. So there's a woman in my community who does horticulture, or she loves horticulture, and she's also a social worker. And on paper, that could be a niche in itself. And when you dig into it, though, it's kind of genius combining the horticulture and social work. So she can actually help people heal through nature. And I don't know a lot about horticulture, but I'm going to use her as an example to let you see how you can expand on the skill sets that you have and find opportunities or call them in. So when I think about horticulture, I think about nature and outside. Okay. So the ground, being outside, all of that can become therapeutic. Dirt, trees, what we used to do outside, swinging, jumping, and actually it is really regulating for your body, right? We don't do a lot of it, especially kids these days. And it's probably why we see so many things like anxiety in kids and all of that, because they're not outside playing and learning to regulate their bodies, to understand like where their body is to the world and how to be present, all of those things, and really to even find peace, right? Like you hear, go outside, take your shoes off, put your feet in the grass and get grounded. It's because there's something powerful about that. And we lose that as adults. So imagine if her skill set is, I'm a provider who loves plants and that life and everything related to it, but I also love teaching, let's say, like healing and healing trauma. So she now has this option to not just see people as a one-on-one service, right? Like I don't just have to see you in my office. She now has the ability to build on that. She can build or stack services based on what she has available to her. I hope you're intrigued. And if it already sounds like, make sure to drop some hearts in the comments or yes. So I know that you're here and hanging out with me. Like I'm in like this virtual void right now. Okay. So say, hey, if you're here now or catching the replay. But all right, let's break it down. So we have this skill set. We have these things that I love doing. What else could it look like? So in this particular example, she can maybe create a journal that invites clients back outdoors and teaches them these grounding practices, like helps you go back to this place that allows your body to feel more free, to get more grounded, to be at ease. That's one thing. She can create a book on plant-based rituals that connect to self-care, right? Like I'm not familiar with horticulture, but that's where her expertise comes in to say like, oh, this is how you need to understand it. And it's as simple as this goes with this. This helps with this. This helps you to connect to self-care. This is a form of self-care practice if you do X, Y, and Z. Great. She can write nature-based meditations about rooting and release, right? Maybe it's a theme and it's connected to things that we would find in nature, like water, plants, the good earth, right? Roots, whatever it is. She could even then create a group program on grounded healing. And maybe it includes some of those rituals that she created, some of the things from her journal. Maybe the program is one that she packages for like a corporate experience where she brings in aspects of her work of the horticulture of the plant side. And as they're working on that, right, she's also integrating the meditations and she has the books and the books are for sale. So I can even sell you that package of this group experience that comes with these journals as well. And as part of the experience, I'm going to weave in the meditations. That's how one skill, one part of her story turns into like a whole ecosystem of opportunities. And that's what I mean by offer stacking, right? So it's like as a therapist, for example, when I'm operating in that space, there's only so many people I can see. Like I'm one person. And I love talking to y'all, but I can't talk to everybody, which is why I ended up like growing a whole practice. But anyway, it's like, okay, I can see you specifically for this. If I can't see you, I can just have you on a wait list. For example, like let's say you're waitlisted for like I do trauma intensives and EMDR, very specific type of trauma treatment. Let's say you're waiting for that. While you're waiting for that, I can also offer you a series on like XYZ. Maybe I've recorded a video series that would be very helpful for you that also start to lay the groundwork for the deeper work that we will do. And that's something I can offer you. Right? Maybe there is a workbook that I've put together that would be essential for you. Even if we never end up working together, but you go on to somebody else, it's a great way to build some of the core skills that you need. I can offer that to you. Maybe I have my own meditations that I can offer to you or affirmations. You know what I'm saying? So now where I would have had somebody on a wait list that's just there and maybe I get to work with them, I can now work with them in all these ways that are an extension or an expression of what I do. And I can charge for that. And while I wouldn't have made anything if they were on my wait list or if I never got to them, I have this other way to like generate other opportunities for me. Right. If I now have that on my website, if I apply some of the stuff that Natalia taught us about SEO, and y'all are just coming to my site to get the information, I would have to never speak to you and you just get there. So now it's working for me and I'm not doing a thing. So that's how this thing can grow. It's how you take what you love and multiply the impact and the income. So you can express your gift in more than one way. And that's what I really want you to see. And I hope it was helpful to see this example. And if you're not really sure, like, oh, how do I do that for me? Drop it in the comments and I'll try to get back and respond to some of them. Okay. So, all right. So let's keep pulling this idea together of that my skills are a gold mine. I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself, what's already in your purse? What do you already have in your toolbox? Like, what do you do naturally? What's that thing that lights you up when you talk about it? Or where do your skills and your story intersect? Because maybe there's something there that you do a little differently that you can bring to the work that you do. I started teaching this semester. One of the things that I do, I'm also a professor. I do a lot of things, y'all, but they all really work together. But I was talking to the class about their experiences that they bring into the room and how that can align with social work so that they can do very creative work with what they do. One person, a couple people actually wanted to be like veterinarians and they have this love for animals. Animals are therapeutic. So it's not that you have to give up this love. Can we look at how we can bring it together to create something more? Right. And that's what I want you guys to look at. Where are things meeting? Things that I never thought about, maybe that I can put together. Like I took a box and I made that box an airplane. Just by itself. Or maybe I made some modification and stuck on some wings or cut out some windows. So maybe I've got to work it a little bit, but what can I do? And while you're in that doing space, something that kind of comes up for us that I do want to talk about a little bit is the fear. Because it is going to happen. It is going to show up when you try to use your skills differently or operate differently if it's just not what you're used to. For me, one of my biggest fears has always been this tension between like doing too much or stopping too soon. Right. Because when you've been building for a while and the outcomes aren't showing yet, it's easy to question, like, am I wasting my time? Right. Like when Moses took them out of Egypt and it wasn't looking so good. And they had these are we there yet moments. Cause maybe I should go back to what I know. Like it be like that sometimes. You just been in it for so long and you can't see it and you know the cost of the work. A lot of times it's like, yo, is this it or not? And it's hard to really determine that sometimes. So I think for me, it's like I don't want to stop too soon, but at the same time, it's like I've got to balance the energy of how much I put in, right? But one of the things that I've learned is that outcomes don't always show right away. And that means it requires a lot of patience. Sometimes you're planting seeds that just take longer to bloom or that have bloomed and you haven't seen it yet. Just a receiver has privy to that impact. So don't get discouraged by the process. I had to give you another little nugget there. Okay. And also don't wait to start. Like, don't wait until everything is perfect because you probably have more than you realize. You just haven't had to look at it in that way or use it in that way. So you probably don't think you're ready, but you probably have more than enough, right? So make a list of the things that you're thinking about. Pick one idea, or if it's merging two concepts, like merge the concepts or rock with the idea and try it. Like, try it for 3 to 6 months and see how it goes and use the data, not your doubt, to decide your next step. That's how you start turning your gold mine into growth. And if you've really been following this summit, like, everyone has given you gems on how to work that 3 to 6 months. Like Natalia on using keywords on your website for SEO, Shawneel on looking at where you are abundant and where you're not, and trying to figure out what you need to keep building. Right. So if I'm not abundantly connected, but I need connections to help me out, what would that look like? And we have a speaker coming to talk about that too, right? Building wealth through connection. So listen, it's here. Coach Lee on how to not lose yourself in the process. And there's still more coming for you guys, but the information is here. So it's not that you don't have the information to grow. The question is, what will you do with it? And one thing you absolutely need to do is you've got to let people know about your work. So once you've figured out the skills, you've gotten into working the thing and how to get it out there and all that good stuff, talk about it. And I'll say, you don't even got to talk about it when it's together. Like, talk about it as you're building it, talk about it as you're thinking about it. Like, I coach in this space on visibility, and it isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's really about being consistent and kind of staying in that beginner's mind, like that learning mind where you're super curious, you're willing to try things, all of that, going back to that kid who loved to play, like, be her. And as you do it, talk about it though. Share what you love. One of the reasons why I think my practice worked out is because I started talking about what I wanted to do, and someone heard me. I was like, oh, you should go do this. And that worked out, and it just set me on an amazing path. So share what you love. And I was random. I was like at like dance practice with my daughter. And I had no idea what the other woman there did, but it was exactly what I needed. So share what you love, share what you learn. Okay. And what that will also do as you're going along is it's also going to help you build authority. So, for example, if I speak somewhere, I'm not just going to post a picture, I'm going to tell the story. And by the way, we've got somebody coming to talk about building a story too. Okay, so much in this summit. All right, so for myself, I can take that moment of me speaking at an event, and just like this gold mine idea with your skills, I can find multiple gold mines in the moment. So I'm going to talk about what I learned. I'm going to talk about what the audience gained. I'm going to share some of their feedback, what I felt, some of the behind the scenes. I love to show my shoes. That's like a thing for myself, like my training shoes. Right? I can take part of the information and write a whole blog, back to SEO and traffic. But that keeps me visible as a speaker. And I'm not doing that just because, right? Because what's happening is it's building me as an authority in the area of mental health and well-being and trauma, navigating anxiety, to confidently share what you do. So people remember me and call my name in rooms, right? I just recently, I had somebody text me like, yo, do you do blah, 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 blah? Yes. All right. Yo, I heard that you're planning a retreat. Did y'all go yet? Come on through. All right. So it builds trust, and that leads to being booked, visible, and paid. And it's easy to talk about your work when you love what you do. Like, whenever I start to get a little like wary of it and stuff, it's like, well, girl, you love this, right? So why wouldn't you tell people? Because then they won't know. To share what it is when you see it as a gift that you have. And how do I want to say this? It's easy to share when you love what you do. And it's easier to share it when you see it as a gift that you have a responsibility to share. All right. All right. I think that was good enough. So I hope this was helpful. And drop any questions that you have in the comment area. Oh my goodness, like it has been a tremendous day, but I wanted to make sure that I get this piece out. It was a little bit of a challenge on myself to bring this to the table. And I will also, for you guys listening, I will be leaving a goodie for you in the comment area as well in the description area. That's going to help you with showing up and sharing your story. All right. And if you do need support, y'all, with navigating, creating your offers, what else it could look like, and positioning your authority, especially when the doubts are there, like reach out. I am so giving. And a lot of it is because it was hard for me to get that in the beginning. Right. So, I think helping women like navigate what's on their mind and how it can look. I think like that's my sweet spot. It's my favorite space to coach on: mindset, visibility, and execution. Okay, so I'm here for it. You guys can find me on socials at Amanda Fludd. On Instagram, it's Amanda.Fludd, any combination of Amanda Fludd, all right, or internationally at one of our retreats. Shout out to our program sponsor, Renew, Connect, Restore Retreat. I'll be there. I hope to see you. And I guess I will end with what I gave all of our guest experts so far, right? If I had to go back 5 years, what I would tell my younger self, or that version of me, I guess she was younger, not that much younger, but I would tell her that there's going to be times that the journey feels really hard and you can't see it yet. But all the pieces that you're building is part of this bigger picture that God sees, and maybe you can't see it yet, but trust that, and trust that this bigger ecosystem of support for Black and Brown women will elevate their lives and it will elevate yours. So keep going, believe bigger, or hold that belief as much as you can. Try sooner, because really entrepreneurs try often, they fail often, and they repeat often. So get with that program faster. Just don't take things so serious. Just like test it, drop it, move it, and just keep going. All right. So I hope even that was helpful to you guys listening. Whew. And oh my God, please take a second to subscribe. And I really look forward to learning with you guys, and to you guys growing alongside of me. And I really hope that whatever I can bring to you, or the women in my circle, in my cipher that come and do these things with me, I hope that you find what you need, if not with me, with them. All right. And I think the last cheesy thing that I'll leave you with is back to this idea of your gold mine is your skills. Your skills are like the soil, right? Your visibility, which is all about being out there. Your visibility is the sunlight. You being out there allows people to see this thing that's cultivating, and your courage will be the thing that waters it. Your actions, your ability to ask for help, to find what you need and lean into it. When we put all that together, things are going to grow, and it's going to grow quickly, and it's going to change your life.